Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of ordering numbers. This is standard 8.2D in the great state of Texas, and we're using item number 30 of the 2023 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we've got these four terms, and we simply need to get them in order from least to greatest. So we can estimate first, we can double check with our calculators second, but some of these might be pretty obvious for us here. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw, let me just draw a straight line here. It's going to be our number line. All right, we'll just go ahead and make a 0, like right here in the middle. And after that, we'll just kind of draw to estimate where we think things are. All right, so there's my 0. Right, I'm needing my from least to greatest. So I need to go from left to right. All right, so the four terms I see here are, the negative 4/3. Right, I'm just going to kind of underline it to make sure I'm not missing one. Okay, so I see the negative 4/3 in all four of these. So that's going to be a negative. Obviously, that's going to be on the left side of the 0. But if I wanted to go ahead and put that as a decimal, I like putting all of these as decimal. Right, negative 4/3. That's going to equal, that's an improper fraction. That's 1 1/3. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and make that negative 1.3 repeating. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of put that. This is just an open number line. I don't know what the difference needs to be. Call that negative 1.3 repeating, but really that's negative 4/3. All right, so that's what that one is. We change colors to blue. I've got negative 0.43 or negative 43 hundredths. All right, so that's going to be in between the 0 and the negative 1/3. Right, that's going to be a little bit less than halfway in between. So I can put that negative 0.43. That's already in a decimal form. Okay, so we've got that. That decimal was already pretty easy to find. Ooh, all right, I've got my square root of 3. All right, I'll use green for this, my square root of 3. All right, so we can estimate square roots, then we can double check with our calculator. All right, so we need to see that, well, 1 squared equal 1, right? 2 squared equals 4, right? So this square root of 3 is going to fall right in between there, but it's kind of lean closer to the 2 than the 3. So in between is 1.5. I'm going to call it like maybe 1.7-ish. We'll double check. 1.7, but either way, it's going to be over here on the right. Okay, so this is going to be about a 1.7 square root of 3, but it's on the right side of the 0 because it's positive. And then finally, we get this, 5 halves. 5 halves is another positive. It's going to be over on the right, but let's see how big it is. Okay, so 5 halves is an improper fraction. Right, that's going to be 2.5, so that makes 2.5. Okay, so that's way over here. So let's put that right about there. 2.5, 5 halves. All right, so it looks like I've got my in order, and I didn't put that negative 0.43. Right, it looks like I've got my order right here. Negative 4/3, negative 0.43, square root of 3, and then 5 halves. Right, and we can get our calculator out just to double check that we've got each of these correct, right? So negative 4/3, right? That's negative 1.3 repeating. We've got the negative 0.43, that's fine. We did kind of estimate on that square root of 3. So let's go ahead and do that. 1.73, close enough. It's a positive. And then 5 halves, right, is going to be that 2.5. So we've got them listed in order. And we see it is going to be, A and C are kind of close, but it is going to be A.